So the next word starts with wa. Wa means and iza. Iza means when or whenever. Iza means when or whenever. The next word, it starts with these three letters: qaf, waw, and lam. Okay, this means to say. Okay, and we have this seen few times. If we just write like qala, he said. Just like kawana, we said is kana, kawala becomes kala. Kala means he said. Okay. So this is active. Someone said something. Kala. One of the rules is that if we change it this way, qila. Qila means it was said. It is a passive. Qala means he said, and if something was said to him, it's qila. Qala, he said, and if instead of he saying something, something is being said to him, which is the passive voice in English, its grammar is qila. So the meaning is wa idha qila, and when it is said. Qila means it is said.
Is it is or was?
Actually, it applies to both of them. But for now, just for the purpose of the grammar, let's keep it was. Okay? And lahum means to them. To them. Now, so what happened? وَإِذَا قِيلَ لَهُمْ, and when it was said to them. So someone came to this munafiq or hypocrite and he said something to this hypocrite. So something happened in the past. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying, وَإِذَا قِيلَ لَهُمْ, and when it was said to them. Okay? But if something is being constantly said to them, then you will translate when it is said to them. If it is said more than one time, and the saying is not finished yet, because munafiqeen are still there and the believers are still there, and they are having an argument back and forth. So whenever someone says something to them, then you can translate this, it is said, because the matter is not over yet. Okay? So either way it is fine, but for exact grammatical reason, it is a was. It was said to them. Okay? So وَإِذَا قِيلَ لَهُمْ, and when or whenever. See, if I put the whenever, then you have to use the is. Then you cannot say only was. Okay? So the meaning changes because some words bring extra meaning in them. So if I say whenever, then I will translate it is said. Okay. And whenever it is said to them is to the hypocrites, to the munafiqeen. Okay. So what is said to them, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is quoting some words from some other person who said something to the hypocrite, to the munafiqeen. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is quoting the words of some other believer or some other person who went and said something to the hypocrites. So these are the words of that person. La tufsidu fil ardi. 3 words or 4 words this person said to the hypocrite. What are those words? La tufsidu fil ardi. So these are the words that was told to this munafiq or munafiqeen. Okay. So let's look at these 4 words, which are the statement of maybe a believer or some good person. Okay. La tufsidu fil ardi. Okay. So the word starts with fa, sin and dal. Okay. And this has 3 letters in it, so it belongs to Bab Fa'ala. And if I put extra alif there, Hamza, this becomes Bab Af'ala, this becomes Afsada. Okay. The meaning of this word is to spread corruption. To spread corruption. It's very important. To corrupt something and to spread corruption, these are 2 different things. Fasada means to corrupt something. Okay? Just one thing you took and you corrupted it. Maybe you put too much salt in the food and you corrupted the food. Okay? But spreading the corruption is much bigger crime. You are trying to destroy the whole society. By spreading the corruption, you are causing a much bigger problem. So that is the meaning of afsada. Okay? Afsada is spreading the corruption in somewhere. Okay? So that's the meaning of this thing. Okay? Now, if I add a ta in the beginning and vuna at the end, okay, and put these 3 letters, fa, sin and dal, and put some harakas this way, tuf siduna. This means you spread corruption. You all, plural. Okay. Tufsiduna is the word that we start with. Tufsiduna means you start. Remember that before we had the word ya, like yakzibuna, so ya means they, ta means you. Okay? So here we are starting with the word ta, ta means you. Tufsiduna, you start corruption. Now we are going to make a change in this word. Okay? So the word is, and that's how the next word is created. The word is tofu siduna. Tufsiduna. Okay? Tufsiduna means you all spread corruption. Okay? Now if I put a la in the beginning and I remove this last letter, okay? La means not. And by making this change, it becomes a command, it becomes an order. La tufsidu, don't spread corruption. This is like a forbidding someone to do something. So that's how command is made in Arabic. This is a command now. This is an order now. La tufsidu, don't do. When I'm saying to you, don't do something, I'm ordering you. I'm commanding you. Okay? So that's how command is made in Arabic. That you take this word and you add a line in the beginning and remove the last letter noon. So the word becomes la tufsidu. Okay? And we also put an alif here which we don't recite. That's the reason that little circle means don't recite, stop there. So the word is la tufsidu, don't spread corruption. Okay? So that is this much part. Do not spread corruption. Okay? So someone went to the hypocrite, someone went to the munafiq and said to him, don't spread corruption. Don't do what you're doing. Telling not to do something, it's ordering. Or maybe requesting. Or suggesting. All these things are command. Requesting, making dua, suggesting, which means you are telling or asking someone else to do something. Okay? So whenever you do that, the rule is that you put a la in the beginning and remove the last letter, noon. So la tufsidu. Okay? The next word starts with ardun. Ardun. Ardun means land or earth. Ardun means land or earth. Okay? If I put an al before that, it means the land or the earth. Al, and whenever you put an al before a noun, two dhammas change into one dhamma. So the word is al-ardu. So this word combining will be written like that. Al-ardu. Okay, you can write down this alif, lam and alif together like this. Al-ardu with one dhamma. Al-ardu means the land, the earth. Okay, that's how it's written in the Quran here. Now also, the word before that is fi. Fi means in. Okay? And fi is a harf jar. It will go and look at the last letter and change into a kasra from dhamma. So now this will become fi al-ardi. And when you read them together, you combine this fa with the lam and you pronounce fil. You do not pronounce this alif in there. It will be pronounced as fil. Fil ardi. And when you do not pronounce this alif here, then this little sign will change into a small swat sign, which is called hamzatul wasl. That means do not pronounce this alif there. You pronounce fil. Fa with this lam here. Fil ardi, and that's how it is written in the Quran. This alif, if you look in there, has a little swat sign there. That means this is now not a regular alif anymore. It's called hamzatul wasl. Wasl means joining. The meaning of the wasl is to join. What we are doing, we are joining fi with al-ardi. So by joining these two, this alif has to sacrifice itself. This has to go away. But we still leave there, we do not pronounce. That's the reason we change the sign of this to a small swat. Means it is written there, not pronounced anymore. So fil ardi, in the land. Okay? In the land. And land maybe you can call in the country or in the city. Okay? Wherever these people are living. someone went to them, to the hypocrites, to the munafiqeen, and maybe he requested, or he nicely asked them, or he ordered them by saying, La tufsidu fil ardi. He said only these 4 words. Do not spread corruption in the land. Okay. This person, so Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is making a statement of this person in the Quran by saying, وَإِذَا قِيلَ لَهُمْ, when it is said to them means to the hypocrites, by some person, and that person made this statement, La tufsidu fil ardi, do not spread corruption in the land. Okay, so this person, after saying these 4 words, he went away. Okay, his statement ended. Now, the next few words are the statement of the munafiqeen. In one ayat, speakers change many times. Okay, if you notice that, وَإِذَا قِيلَ لَهُمْ, these words are the statement of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Because Allah is saying, when it is said to them, then from here to here are the words of somebody else who came to the hypocrites and said something. From this point to the end, this is the reply of the hypocrites. The munafiqeen are now saying something. So in one ayat, 3 speakers are changing. And there is no name of any of these speakers. There is no name. It is وَإِذَا قِيلَ لَهُمْ. And when it is said to them, you don't know who is saying. If you just take this much alone, you will not know who is talking here. Or this one or this one. So that's the reason we need to really understand the Quran in the context of the Quran. You cannot break down the words or ayats and try to understand. Okay? So, قَالُوا إِنَّمَا نَحْنُ مُسْلِحُونَ. This is the reply of the hypocrites. So let's look at these words. Okay? So the first word starts with the qaf, waw and lam, and we just learned this means to say. Okay? And when we put 3 fathas on these 3 letters, this becomes qala. Okay? Because waw changed into alif, waw with a fatha. So qala means he said. And its plural is by adding a waw at the end, qalu. And this alif is not recited, it's not pronounced. Stop there. So this means qalu means they said. Who are they here? They are hypocrites. So they are replying. They were told not to make the corruption, so they are responding now by saying something, by giving some excuse or some statement. Okay? Then after that is the word innama. Innama. Okay. This word has several meanings. And I'll write down some of them. It means only. It means in fact. And it means surely. And few other meanings like that. Okay? So you can choose any of these and they will fit in here. So I'm just going to just use this one. They are saying in fact. Hypocrites are saying, in fact, they are going to say a couple more words after that. Or in reality, or in truth. Okay? Nahano means we. Means they are talking about themselves. They are saying, indeed we, or in fact we. Okay? Next word is, it starts with these letters, Swad, Lam, and Ha. Okay? So these are three letters. So they belong to the group fa'ala. And if I add an alif, af'ala, this will become four letters, aslaha, and this means to reform. Okay. Now notice this word.
Salah is anyways.
Hmm?
Salah only is anyways.
Salah has many meanings, like to compromise between these two people, or to advise, or to do some good deed. It has many meanings. But when we make a four letters by adding alif, the meaning changes completely. Okay? Now notice, what is the reform? Why reform? Reform is done after the corruption. Okay? If some society has been corrupted, then to fix that society, you use the word reformation. To fix the things which have gone wrong. Okay? So let's look a little bit more into this one. Okay? So if I take these words, these swad, lam and ha, and put a meme before that. Okay? And we pronounce this as muslihun. Okay? It becomes the doer. Muslihun is someone who is doing correction or reformation. Islah. Okay? For example, if you have the word Hasin and Noon, and you put a meme before that and you pronounce exactly Moho, Sinun. So by putting a meme and sounding this way, it becomes a person. Mohsin is a person who does good deed. Ehsan. Okay? So that's how you make the person or the doer, by adding a meme in the beginning and sounding as meme combining with the second letter. Mus, li, kasra and hun. Muslihun means a reformer. Muslihun means reformer. Okay? Someone who is doing a correction of the things which has been broken. Okay? Muslihuna is the plural of this word. Muslihuna is the plural. You just put guna at the end, like Muslim and Muslimuna. Mu'min, Mu'minuna. Munafiq, Munafiquna. So by putting a guna at the end, it becomes the plural. So, Nahnu Muslihuna, we are reformers. Okay? And when you reach to the ayat and you stop, you will say Muslihun. Okay? The actual word is Muslihuna. If you want to continue to the next ayat reading, then you will pronounce Muslihuna and combine with the next part. But if you stop here, the rule is of Tajweed that doesn't matter whatever is on the last letter, you don't pronounce that harka. So you say Muslihun, you stop there. Reformers. So their reply is, they are saying, we are reforming.
I have a question. If you want to say we were reformers, how would you say it?
Kanu.
Oh, instead of nothing?
No, Nahnu means we will still say, but Nahnu is additional actually. You know, Nahnu,
Besides we?
yeah, because Kanu will have, war in there also. Okay? So it's different ways. Okay?
So how would one know that it is both of them are Kalu and Kalu?
No, this is past tense.
Right? So I'm asking you, what I normally in English, for example, we will say, we will change the sentence that's inside that conveying unless you put it in quotes. So in here,
Yeah, in Arabic there are no quotes.
If you want to say we were reformers, like they are talking about the past.
Kanu Muslihuna. or kanu is they. Okay, so whatever the the grammar is that for for the we will use that one.
We cannot say nahnu muslimun, just nahnu.
Well, see, again the thing is, you have to see the context. You have to see the context. If you are talking about a story of Musa alayhi salam and Pharaoh, okay, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is talking about this story which has taken place in the past. So whatever was said, both of them were saying in the past. But here, the situation is alive. The Prophet is present there, Quran is revealed, and munafiqeen are there. Somebody is saying to them today, somebody will say something to them tomorrow. So this is a current situation. So that's the reason, even though this, let's see the whole thing was stated yesterday. On that day, when this ayat was revealed, something happened a day before that. Okay? And on that particular day, some Muslim, he went to a munafiq, and his وَإِذَا قِيلَ لَهُمْ. So when it was said to them, the statement is, don't spread the corruption. قَالُوا. The hypocrites replied in the past yesterday. Okay? Even in English, you will not say we were corrupted. You will say we are reformer. You will say we are reformer. And as you said, unless you put the quotes in there. In Arabic, there are no quotes, there is no punctuation, there is no comma, there is no period, no full stop. There is nothing like that. All you have to do is understand Arabic from the context. So, from the context, we are defining the present tense, past tense, and future tense here. How the statement is made and how it is quoted, and how should we translate that. So if you try to translate, we were reformers, that means that person, what he's saying, yeah, I was a reformer yesterday, I'm no more reformer. But he will say, we are reformer, then he is still claiming that you are blaming us to spread the corruption. We are reforming things here. So it's the conversation you have to follow with the context. Because notice in this, that in Arabic there is no is. Okay? In many places you will notice that, for example, فِي قُلُوبِهِمْ, in their hearts. That's all. In English you will have to put in the word is. Otherwise sentence will be incomplete. فِي قُلُوبِهِمْ, in their heart. In English you will say in their heart is maradun, a disease. So language is, you have to understand language the way it is spoken and understood. Okay? So this is what they are saying, we are reformer. Now, this situation still exists. For example, someone is spreading corruption in the land. You tell them, no, don't do it. For example, someone is going to build a casino in the middle of downtown for gambling. If you go and tell them, their answer will be, we are providing employment. We are helping the society. So they stop looking at the part which is worst part of that. They are just looking at the small benefit of that one. So this is what their answer is there. They are saying we are doing a reformation in the land. We are not corrupting the land. So this is what the munafiqeen say. After these ayahs, there are more ayahs where they talk about more different situation about the munafiqeen. Okay? So this is where, so inshallah we'll stop at this point. Okay?
अभी सब अगर आज टाइम है तो उसकी आप सिर्फ एक्सप्लेन कर देते हैं